Mira, the train conductor, loved the dawn. She loved the way the light crept over the world. She loved the quiet before the station bustled. But this dawn was different. This dawn held a mystery.
Hundreds of crabs, maybe thousands, marched along the train tracks. They moved in unison, claws clicking.
A sea of red and orange, they flowed toward the old abandoned track. Mira had never seen anything like it.
What were they doing? Where were they going?
A chill ran down Mira's spine. This was something strange, something magical, something old. The abandoned track led to a dilapidated train, its once vibrant colors now faded and peeling. It hadn't moved in decades, standing as a silent sentinel of a bygone era.
Mira had heard whispers, stories from her grandfather about the ghost train that roamed these tracks. He said it only appeared during the most magical times when the world seemed to hold its breath.
And then the train whistled, a sound that seemed to come from another world. A long, low sound that echoed through the morning air, reverberating through the mist. The crabs quickened their pace, sensing the change in the air. They swarmed toward the train, a tide of clicking claws moving in unison. Smoke puffed from the engine, a plume of white against the rising sun, as if the train was waking from a long slumber. The train shuddered, then began to move, its wheels creaking and groaning. Slowly at first, then faster and faster it rolled down the abandoned track, gaining momentum with each passing second.
Mira couldn't believe her eyes, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The ghost train was real, just as her grandfather had said, and it was calling her, beckoning her to uncover its mysteries.
Mira knew she had to follow. There was an unexplainable pull, a magnetic force that she couldn't resist. She had to see where the train went, why the crabs were so drawn to it. The sight of the crabs, with their tiny legs scuttling along the tracks, was both bizarre and fascinating. This was a mystery she couldn't ignore. The questions swirled in her mind, each one more pressing than the last.
She boarded her own engine and followed the ghost train. The anticipation was palpable, her heart racing with every chug of the engine. It moved with a strange grace, gliding over the old overgrown tracks. The train seemed to float, almost as if it were a part of the landscape itself. The crabs continued to march ahead, clearing the way. Their synchronized movement was mesmerizing, like a well-rehearsed dance. The train journeyed for hours. The rhythmic sound of the wheels on the tracks became a soothing melody, a soundtrack to the unfolding adventure. The sun rose high in the sky, casting a golden light over the strange procession. The warm glow added a surreal quality to the journey. They passed through fields of wildflowers and dark, whispering forests. Each landscape told a story, each scene more enchanting than the last. Mira felt like she was traveling deeper and deeper into a forgotten world. The air was thick with mystery, and every turn of the track brought new wonders.
Finally, the train slowed. The anticipation built up once more as Mira wondered what awaited her at the end of this journey. They were approaching a small seaside village, nestled between the cliffs and the sea. The sight was breathtaking, a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. The village was old, its houses built of stone and driftwood. Each house seemed to have a story, a history etched into its weathered walls. It seemed untouched by time. The village stood as a testament to a bygone era, a place where the past and present coexisted in perfect harmony.
As the train pulled into the quaint coastal village, the air was filled with the scent of salt and the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore. The crabs began to change. They shed their shells, a process that seemed almost ritualistic, revealing soft, luminescent bodies beneath. These glowing creatures illuminated the beach with an otherworldly light. The shells, now empty, glowed with a soft inner light, casting a gentle glow on the sand. The villagers, their faces weathered by the sea wind and sun, emerged from their homes, drawn to the beach by the spectacle. They greeted the crabs with reverence, as if welcoming old friends returning from a long journey. Carefully collecting their discarded shells, they handled them with a sense of awe and respect. Mira watched in amazement, her eyes wide with wonder.
What was the meaning of this strange ritual? She had never seen anything like it before.
An old woman, her eyes as blue as the sea itself, approached Mira with a knowing smile. "The crabs are guardians," she explained, her voice filled with wisdom and reverence. "They carry the light of the sea to our village, a light that protects and guides us. Their shells protect us from the darkness, a barrier against the unknown."
Mira realized the truth. The ghost train, the marching crabs, the glowing shells, the seaside village, they were all connected in a delicate balance. They were part of an ancient pact, a sacred promise made between the land and the sea, a bond that had endured through generations. A promise that ensured harmony and protection, where the sea met the land in a timeless embrace. And she had been chosen to witness its magic, to understand the deep connection that bound them all together.